This meeting is just a budget workshop, so we're not going to get into public comment or anything like that. We're just here so that the board members, the clerk, and the highway superintendent can go through it line by line and see what, make sure what we want to do on line items and go from there. So, that said, we can start. Now, in the past, we have gone through, and as we went through salaries and stuff, we read them off here. And then we went into executive session to just quickly go back through them and see if we had any discussion, changes, whatever. So I think that's how we'll do it. It's been our practice in the past, so. All right. So, town board, A 1010.1, personal services, 8,000, contractual, 300. Oh, and 8,000 for the clerk also. All right. That's not, huh? I don't know.
This is the proposed budget. That's last year's budget.
You're correct. God, I'm reading the wrong column. That's a bad start.
Yeah,
Okay.
gonna say, wait a minute, where are we here?
That's what I was wondering. Anyway, let's go back and start over. Personal services, which includes the clerk, 12,000.
The clerk doesn't.
It's, well, it's not contractual.
Hmm?
It's not contractual.
The town board doesn't.
I gotta start all over again.
Strikes were off.
12,300. So 12,000 is, man, I'm looking at that, my hand's over town board, and I thought that was, I'm thinking that's supervisor. So anyway, 12,000 is town board, 3,000 apiece for the year, 300 contractual. Total 12,300. Justices, personal services, we went at 15,000. We will have a new judge, and so there was the court clerk. I put that in at 3,000. I talked a little bit with Leanne, and in trying to get a feel for, with a new judge, I think a lot of the key is going to be having a good, experienced clerk. So we need to make sure that that happens.
I reached out to some of the other justices too, and they said the same thing. You really need a clerk these days to really operate efficiently.
Yeah.
So
And,
a lot of paperwork, there's a lot more paperwork than there used to be.
oh God, yes. I know the girl that was the clerk here for Ruth this year, and she went out to Oregon or Washington. I guess her husband out there for a year, but boy, she was right on top of that stuff and experienced and knew the paperwork. And that, and Ruth has commented, that makes it way easier. So hopefully we can come up with that. So for equipment, 300, and contractual 500 for a total of 18,800. Supervisor, personal services, 8,000. Bookkeeper clerk, 8,250. Contractual, 26. And contractual is we put in there some of the programs that we have to pay the annual updates on. And in the last few years, we moved them to have them where they should be. Some of them were in the town clerk, which wasn't really the right place and things like that. So that locates them correctly. Next one is assessors. Put that at 16,500 for salary. There is no clerk. 250 for equipment. Total assessors, why isn't that looking right to me? Oh, contractual 2,150. for a total of 18,900. Town clerk, we put in at 15,000. Personal services, the second line is the deputy at 2,000. Equipment 1,000, contractual 1,500. That contractual is the town clerk's program too from Williamson, if I'm not mistaken, Rain, isn't it?
It should be under there.
Yeah. Attorney, we left that at 4,000, and I guess I'd like to have one on retainer. I still think we should, but we got through this year and it didn't cost us a lot, so I guess we can keep going like that until we find somebody that we, we'll do it on retainer and we can go from there.
So the past years, they had 12,000, what's the minus 12,000 down in
I
that?
can't, well, it's legal fees.
Yes, it's minus
21, no, it was earlier than that, wasn't it, Gary?
Right.
When we had the,
Lawsuit for the
yeah,
assessment.
for the assessments. That should have been back, what, 19? Or did it not finish until then?
That's probably when it finished, and that's why. it
That's,
was in
maybe,
there.
that could be,
Then 22, you had 8,000.
which we, well, in 22, we used, I don't know why that's, yeah, legal fees, we used 8. Expenditures / revenues through 8/31/22. I don't know that I can answer that, Ron, without digging.
But
into it.
I just wondering if the 4,000, without raising, but is the
Right.
4,000 we're gonna do, or where can we pull it from?
That's
We'd
got
have to
go
put out a
back.
main budget if we had to pay more legal fees. I don't know if you wanna put it in the budget or not, that's what I'm just asking.
Well, I think the 4, we should be good with 4.
Okay.
The only legal bills we've had were the personnel matter. They were under 1,000, so
Okay.
that should be fine. Elections, contractual 3,500, that kind of goes from the stuff that we have been sent from elections as to what to expect for next year. And I'm sure you notice that every year it goes up. So that totals 35. Buildings, personal services, the 600, that's cleaning. Contractual 13,000. That is maintenance, I think it went for the roof on the shop. And, because there's no other contractuals, we haven't done anything in here. So it should be the roof, and then the buildings show up in another place, but part of it is money to put aside toward,
Building number 2.
building number 2, right, to get siding on it. And that is one of those things we need to do.
How do you wanna do that?
Huh?
When you gonna start doing that?
Maybe,
It's gonna be about 50 grand.
I know.
But you had Jeff Henry do it, say you do it in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that's be what one we would wanna break up over several years. I don't know, maybe we ought to have him take a look at it.
He's told me about 50 grand.
Huh?
He's told
He
me.
said about 50 grand.
This is metal siding.
He was gonna put vinyl on it,
Vinyl.
I think.
Oh. Metal would be a lot easier and quicker, wouldn't it? A lot less labor.
I mean, when we get right down to it.
Yeah,
we'll figure it
yeah.
out, but
I can't believe wouldn't cut that figure way down, but it might help some.
it's got the socket and everything.
Yeah. But we probably ought to look into that, and figure it over 3 or 4 years.
So we're looking-
Start with the worst parts.
So you're looking at
Side.
least at 20,000 a year for 3 years at least,
Yeah.
anyway, at least. for
So
that.
we still have some money in a building reserve. If we don't take it out for the, if we don't take it out for salt building, and I don't think we have to, we got 56 in there that we've been putting away for both, to do some work on that and a salt storage. So we could use some of that and maybe get half of it done, you know, along with this, so. That gives us a total of 13,600 on that. Central storeroom, 1,000,
That's supplies.
yeah, paper, etc.
Stuff that everybody uses, basically. Your things for your computer come out of there. Your toners, that stuff. File folders. I
You got it.
don't know what this figure was there. In 21 is 30. This thing.
I don't know.
But
I don't
this
know.
is, this is what I ordered the stuff.
How much is left in it?
Well, it says we had 1,500 in it, we've used about
What's
4.
Where's last month's budget? Last month's budget.
The supervisor's report.
This
I
figure
know
here
that.
is what I ordered, and
A6,
you need to get,
16,
you need to get a new
16.4.
chair.
Yeah, we can't have more.
But that shouldn't be.
No, that won't be, what, 150, maybe,
This was the total of what I ordered from Office Depot
okay.
for his toners and, copy paper, file folders.
Computer or anything like that, does that come out of that? No, that would.
Maybe contractual, I would think,
Contractual
under
under the,
whoever's department it is,
okay.
or equipment, rather.
This buildings, this doesn't have to do with the bills on the building stuff. This buildings up here is just, it's just the building themselves, right?
I believe. The old budget, we had enough notes that,
So we're gonna drop that 500
from 1,500 to 1,000.
and drop it?
Yeah, they put 1,000 in, and I thought that would be,
You got 959 left.
yeah, 1,000 should be good. Special items, unallocated insurance.
Wait a minute, Don.
Okay, what did I forget?
Under buildings and contractual, does that where our utilities are coming out?
That's what
Oh, okay.
I think that's.
Then I
think
Utilities in or now?
all right,
Broke
so
down
it's
their
the other
contract.
one that's actually building 2 or whatever we're gonna do to
Under
it.
garage.
Huh?
Okay, under
Yeah, I
garage.
think maybe. Uh, We looked at that when Leanne and I went over, she felt that would be enough to well, it should be enough.
If it's based on everything you've already had, and there's no big increases, I
Right.
wouldn't think it would be follow suit, because you got 21, it's 11, 12, and it's almost 12 again on 22. You increased it by, not quite 2, but, you know, got at least almost another 1,000 for a buffer.
Special items, unallocated insurance. That should be our policy from, Nymer and, insurance agent there, Horning. So it's also our bonding, vehicle insurance, building insurance. Municipal association dues, they send that to us, that should be sufficient. Special items contingent, that's just, 6,000 if we need to move it here or there or wherever. Not much, but. So it gives us total special things 39, for total general government support, $149,450. Next is public safety, traffic control. It should be signs, I think, Lee.
Yeah.
If we had to do a lot of it, you couldn't put enough in, I don't think, could you?
Well, that's what the guy's been doing I had 2 guys all week this week doing that, filling potholes and fixing
Checking signs.
And, right, I got 2 sheets of front and back of signs that I have to replace, faded out, stuff like
Oh,
that,
okay.
so. I'll know, you ain't gonna get a lot of signs for $1,000, so,
You don't, no,
no, when they're $56, $70 for a
yeah,
Aaron Howard sign, you know.
but,
We talked about this one. but-
yeah, we've gotta find out on those little ones for the,
Maybe
library
they can
park.
come and park.
we can take, yeah, maybe we can take that out of park. Out of the park, maybe,
No smoking?
yeah, no vaping, no smoking.
Signs to put in quick on.
So all traffic control ends up 1,000. Next we get down to dog control. That stayed the same, $28.50 on personal services, 1,000 on contractual, for a total of $38.50. Safety inspection, personal services, 8,000, contractual on that, 900.
And that's Brad, right?
That is Brad. Mileage and I think he had to have some forms made and stuff, so that would come out, that kind of stuff would come out of contractual. We have a total there of $13,750. Board of Health, $418. I have no idea what sets that number. Is that one based on population or something?
Yes. That's what we pay to our.
Yeah, but I don't know how they derive that figure, I
Yes,
guess.
population.
Okay,
Who's our doctor?
Dr. Richard Parker,
Parker?
yeah.
he lives in the town of Howard.
Register vital statistics, $100. What that's always been. Ambulance. uh, 36,686. 30, yeah, wasn't it?
35,686.
I know, I'm looking, why is this printed at 36,204?
That's total public health.
Oh, that's got the 100 in it, yeah.
Fremont's ambulance.
Fremont's went up to
runs out.
10,000.
You already have that,
Went
okay.
up to 10 last
You
year.
just got both.
We just got a Vocus, Leanne knew what a Vocus was, and we had received Canisters. I mean,
I hear you're gonna be paying for Cornell's difference, too.
because,
And next year,
huh?
next year, when they respond with an ambulance, because
Nobody, like, say, Canasteel doesn't answer, or not. I heard that right straight out of the mayor's mouth.
I was thinking you probably did.
And how does that work?
Is it-
Call
is it in
them,
the
there's,
paper?
It's in the
there's
paper,
no
yeah.
way to judge that.
Well,
for budget.
I guess,
So,
I guess what they're gonna do, it'll be next budget, 1.4, but,
so if there's 10 calls and Hornell has to go, the Canisteel can't go, we're kind of paying double for those calls. I'm not faulting Hornell, but it would seem the fair way to do it would be to deduct it from Canisteel's next contract. Because the other thing they said was, when we were going through this stuff for their ambulance remember their ambulance was down when they put the DEF right in the fuel tank? When I was talking to them, they said when we do another contract, we'll have you come down, we'll get input from the town and like that. Well, of course they never did. They just sent us, here's the new contract.